So I decided to sit down today and play some Hired Ops. I haven't talked about this game in a long time. It's being developed by Absolute Soft, which, if I remember correctly, is like a sister company to Battlestate Games. Hired Ops is the spiritual successor to Contract Wars. It launched on Steam way back in, I think, 2017, and it just came out of early access on the 13th of April, and I've had quite a few people reach out for me to give an updated view on the game. What is Hired Ops like in 2021? As always, my name is Bigfry, and if you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like on the video. So this game is set in the same universe as Escape from Tarkov. It's the Russia 2028 universe, and this game aesthetically looks pretty similar to Tarkov. I don't think it has the same kind of graphical fidelity as Tarkov, but the aesthetic, a lot of the same assets you guys are going to be seeing in the gameplay in the background here. And that is about as far as this game relates to Escape from Tarkov. Everything that makes Tarkov that unique FPS experience that you can't get anywhere else does not translate over to Hired Ops. Everything from the gunplay to the map design to the sound design is so absolutely inferior to Escape from Tarkov that it's weird that these development studios are connected in a way, because the games feel so different. Obviously, they're two different experiences, but it's weird jumping in here and having the gunplay be very base and bare bones. And what I mean by that is the recoil patterns are there, and it feels like I'm playing a browser-based game in like 2007. The game just doesn't feel good to play from a gunplay standpoint. From a character movement standpoint, the game doesn't take any of Tarkov's inspirations in terms of like stamina management and stuff like that. It is a sprint around run and gun shooter, but it has this weird thing that kind of procs every now and again where like you get shot in the face, and sometimes it does that thing where your guy starts to limp like it's from Tarkov, but it's very random, and I can never seem to get it to like repeat itself twice. One time I think I got shot in the leg under a train, and my guy started to limp around, but then that never happened to me in the next 10 games that I played. It's very weird, and I think it's just really unnecessary for a game like this. Like, if you're gonna go the Tarkov route, first off, slow the game down, take away that sprint, or at least add some real stamina to your characters. And if you're gonna do that limp route, but then have something as simple as a med kit to kind of fix you, even though when I used the med kit, it didn't really work. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do. It's like they're trying to find that blend, or they're trying to show inspirations from Tarkov, but then at the end of the day, the gameplay doesn't really shift to kind of warrant those changes. It's very strange. The audio in this game is some of the worst that I think I've ever heard in an FPS. Gunshots, no matter what, sound like they're right next to you. It's very hard to tell whether or not something is above you or below you or behind you. The only thing you can tell is if someone is to the left of you or to the right based on footsteps. At the odd moment, you're not hearing gunfire in your ears every second of the match, and that gunfire doesn't do anything. You don't know if someone's across the map or not. It is right in your ears almost at all times. It's very disorienting and just not really enjoyable to listen to. So the game is free to play on Steam, and because I had purchased the game a few years ago, it gave me access to a premium account, which basically has XP boosters and credit boosters and your basic stuff that you see in a lot of free to play titles. A lot of people always like to call games like this pay to win. I'm here to say I don't think it's pay to win based on everything that I'm seeing in the store. A lot of it is cosmetic or just like XP or credit boosters that you can kind of add to your account. Other than that, I'm glad to say that there's nothing out of the ordinary bullshit wise here in this free-to-play title. Map design wise, there are quite a few maps to choose from. A lot of them seem to be more Tarkov-y in terms of like the aesthetic with the jungles and the rocks and stuff like that. And then you get the the original Contract Wars style where you're running in between like shipping containers. I can't remember the name of any of the maps because, to be honest with you, none of them are really that memorable to begin with. With the lack of any sort of like vaulting mechanic, you have, you know, your basic ramp, wooden ramps up to different platforms, and the maps do feel a little bit dated in that sense, and it feels like you're playing an older style shooter. And if you guys are into that, that's cool. I just think like after playing games, I mean, especially recently playing games like Battlefield 4, lately I've actually been feeling a little bit spoiled, not being able to vault over things right now in gaming. In a fast-paced FPS like Hired Ops is, just feels so archaic to me. And running around, everything from the character movement to the basic bitch gunplay just makes this game feel like it's 5 to 6 years too late. And that's really unfortunate because Hired Ops is actually one of the better FPSs that did hit early access. Obviously, there were a lot of server issues when it first came out, and for a long time there, it really wasn't being supported in North America. Trying to find a game in North America with a decent ping was one of the biggest challenges that people ran into with Hired Ops. And I will say it is easier to find games now through the matchmaking, but a lot of the times you're being paired with 5 or 6 people, and you can go through the server browser and you can see there's so many servers open, you know, overseas, EU, Russia. And a lot of those locations in which obviously the developers are from Russia, this game is targeted to that kind of player base. But if you're like me and you're in North America, you might struggle a little bit with this game. One of the things that I can compare to Tarkov and say that this game does exactly the same as Tarkov is the desync and the lag. That is still very much so prevalent in this game. There were times where I was shooting players, just putting full mags into people and not having them, you know, even flinch. They just pull out a knife and maybe kill me. Now that could be lag, that could be desync, or that could be hacking. Regardless of what that is, I have found that like I'm putting people down, and as they're dying, I'm dying a few seconds later. There is a lot of lag and desync on a lot of these servers, and it's just really unfortunate. Now, before this free-to-play kind of like official release out of early access hit, the game was averaging around 121 average players. At the time of recording this commentary, it's sitting at around 1,500. So it's gaining some steam, but it's still kind of an unhealthy player base, especially for those in North America when a vast majority of players and servers are overseas. I really don't know what the longevity of this game is going to be, and to be honest with you guys, I did run into a couple of little bugs in which, you know, my mouse ends up in the middle of the screen, can't get it off unless you kind of like quit the game and restart. Other than that, not a lot of bugs, not a lot of map issues like getting stuck in different corners and stuff like that. The game is well put together, but like I said, after playing it and feeling it out, it just feels like it's a little bit too little too late. And that's really just unfortunate because out of a lot of the FPS games that I've covered on this channel, this is actually one of the better ones, but that's really not saying much. Moving outside of like the gameplay and the audio and the map design, this game features a plethora of cosmetics and attachments you can put on your gun in typical kind of like Escape from Tarkov fashion. It doesn't have the weapon modding that Tarkov does have, but for an FPS of this style, it actually does have quite a few different weapon customization options, which I actually respect. You can also unlock cosmetic items for your character, helmets, chest rigs, and stuff like that. Again, that portion of the game feels a lot more like a sister game from Tarkov. All of that stuff I really respect. Being able to put different sights and suppressors on your weapons, different skins and stuff like that is actually really cool. But I don't know if there's enough there to really keep people's interest past that initial, oh my god, this game is kind of like an Escape from Tarkov arena shooter style of hype. I don't see this game lasting that long unless they decide to maybe sponsor a lot of bigger streamers or maybe a lot of Tarkov streamers and actually get the game out there and start building that player base up. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see what Absolute Soft has planned in the future. I'm very curious to see how they're going to start to market this game and actually get it out there. Hired Ops, if handled correctly moving forward, could actually be a game that I could see a lot of people jumping into, and the fact that it is free to play has that going for it, and with a visual aesthetic that they could start to use to maybe tie into Tarkov, maybe have in-game drops tied to Tarkov streamers, or if you play enough Escape from Tarkov, maybe you earn stuff for Hired Ops. If they could somehow mesh the two in a better way to maybe push this game out to people who might not want to give it a chance, or maybe not even know it exists, that's the thing that Absolute Soft now has to focus on. Obviously fix the lag and the desync and try to promote this game to the North American audience in a better way than they have been already, and you actually might see a bustling player base here. I wish them the absolute best. There's really nothing I can say that like blasts this game and throws it into the negative. I think it's just an older style game that just needs more eyes on it. Whether or not that's going to happen, I have no idea. My name is Bigfry. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I got a bunch of stuff coming out this week that I think you guys are really gonna like. Subscribe to the channel today for more FPS, multiplayer, tactical, early access shooters, and everything in between. We're on the road to 200,000. We're less than 5K away, and we're growing like hell over here. I appreciate y'all watching. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys are doing this week. What are you playing? What are you interested in? What are you looking forward to? My name is Bigfry, and I'll see you on the next one.